So hello, I decided to change things up today. Most, mostly because it's kind of hard during the day with the kids, and while I love it while they participate, sometimes it's nice to be able to do this on my own and not interfere with my girlfriend. And she goes to bed kind of early, and I'm kind of a night owl. So, welcome to my humble home. I'm actually using a selfie stick. Don't know how I should feel about that. But so I thought it would be. I've noticed a couple questions in the support sites about GHS and craniofacial differences and mental health, and so I thought I'd talk about that. Um, but before I do, I am going to say I am not an expert whatsoever. I can really only speak from what I see around me and my own experiences and a whole lot of guesswork. Especially because mental health is one of those things that, unless you really kind of dedicate some serious time learning about it, you really don't have a clue. So, I have taken quite a few psychology courses in college, but nothing like my girlfriend who blows me out of the water. Because a lot of people think that mental health is something that could be created. And while there are definitely situations where, trauma can happen, um, really mental health is usually something that it's a neurological disorder. It's not really anything that can typically just come out of thin air. I think if I were to venture some kind of guesses, I would say that there's a possibility that uh, we all have those plateaus of the possibilities, and then certain life events can make them come out. Uh, you know. Um, so anyway, moving on. Talking about mental health, and I am seeing a psychiatrist now. Um, I have been contemplating seeing a therapist and a psychiatrist and or both, whatever, for a long time now. And, I've always kind of held back. I think a lot of us do that. There's such a stigma, on mental health nowadays that, that nobody ever wants to take that step, because it's so looked down upon. But sometimes you just need a little extra help, and that's okay. I've had some things happen recently, the last year or so, that have kind of toppled me over the edge, and I was getting a little dark, and I was sinking into a pretty deep depression. So I decided to take the bull by the horns. Uh, so I've been diagnosed with depression, ADD, and PTSD due to childhood traumas. Um, things happen. What can you do? So I'm now on medication. I've only started taking. I've been taking Adderall for a while now, actually, and it's really helped me get through. But it wasn't really. I have cats, but it wasn't really helping too much with the actual depression. It just got me through the day, helped me focus at work, um, helped me stay awake. Uh, and there's my cats. Hi, kitties. Adding some flavor to the video. Uh, so, but I just recently started taking Prozac to And it started to. It takes a while before it starts to have an overall effect, but it started to work. Slowly but surely, I'm getting motivation again. I'm cleaning the house again, and playing my keyboard again. And it's it's been a very difficult uphill battle. And I have not seen an actual therapist yet. I'm just seeing a psychiatrist at the moment. I was waiting to get through training at work first because kind of hard to wiggle my schedule around right now. But I do plan on seeing a therapist as soon as that's done, and we're almost there. Um, so basically, my thoughts on mental health and disability or craniofacial differences is I'm sure that there are a lot of people with craniofacial differences who would be more inclined to have mental health issues, anxiety issues, depression, all that stuff, because sound of body, sound of mind. And not saying that everybody does or whatever. I'm not trying to lay a label on anyone. I'm just saying that I could see the proclivity, um, but at the same time, there's mental illness in my family. I don't even like to say mental illness. Mental situations in my family, and so it could just very well be genetic in my case. I don't know. I mean, certain things like PTSD, well, of course not, but ADD, most definitely. Um, it, the main thing that I can say as far as mental health is there's nothing to be afraid of. And if you have it or your kids have it, if you're worried about your kid, it's okay. Just make sure you do the research and make sure that you are doing what works for you and that you are doing what's right for your kid, but make sure you listen to them too. I have no beef with medication. Um, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life is that meme that has like the handful of pill and then like below it is like a bunch of people like riding a bike through a forest, and down below that it said, "This is the only medication you should need." Well, you know what? When you say that, when you share that, when you agree with that, you are basically telling every person who needs that medication to get through their everyday life that they are not worth your opinion. That your opinion is more important than their life. Because seriously, for a lot of people, this kind of medication is life saving. My girlfriend's bipolar is very intense, and she has dealt with this stigma for a while now. And I am so proud of how far she's gotten because I know how hard it is. And I know a lot of other people who take medication for different things. There's nothing wrong with it, but do it the right way. See a psychiatrist, see a therapist, get help, talk to somebody. And as a young person dealing with that crushing loneliness and feeling like nobody cares and you're never going to make it through this, seriously, it's okay to talk to somebody. It really is. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, uh, School counselors, something, talk to somebody. Uh, it's we see enough suicide and things amongst transgender kids, and I think that I I don't want to conjecture as to why I have seen less cranial kids do it. I have some guesses, but I don't even want to lay that out there. But I do get worried because I was this close, when I was a kid, and when you're young, all those emotions are just so the hormones are raging, and you feel everything so completely. So when you're sad, you're crushingly sad, and it's really hard when you're an island in a crowd. So yeah, there's a very good possibility that there is a connection between mental health and really any form of disability. But at the same time, it's very possible that there's absolutely no connection because mental health really has no favorite. It picks on everybody. Um, so, it doesn't matter really. I think that, again, sound of body, sound of mind, and I think that people who deal with pain and fatigue and personal trauma day in and day out definitely may have a higher risk. Well, I don't want to say risk, a higher chance of being diagnosed. Um, and again, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I am just now starting to kind of sort of feel like myself again, and it's a very grueling, difficult road, and I'm tired. and but you know what? It's worth it, and I have no regrets whatsoever. I mean, let me show you the results. Welcome to my humble home. Turn the camera around here. This is so. This is my living room. I don't know. I have just a week ago. This room was trashed. We have a dog with a nervous situation because we got rid of her little brother. He was a little too excited for this neighborhood. We rehomed him, but she was peeing on the floor for a while in distress. Uh, Here's the dining room. Hi, Snitch. This is Snitch. Hi, Snitch. She sees herself in the camera. She sees the screen. Here's my kitchen. So yeah, just a week ago, this would not be like this. I was exhausted. My girlfriend cooked all the time. I never really did it. I came home, I goofed on my phone, and I didn't care. And now that I've started to get motivation again and all that, it's all about self care. I want my life to be in order. So, if you need help, don't hesitate. Don't be afraid to speak up, to do what you need to do to take care of you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I again, if you need medication, do what you gotta do. Just make sure you learn everything. A lot of these meds have odd side effects. Do the research. Um, for example, Adderall makes you very dehydrated. You gotta drink a lot of fluids. It also makes you sweat a lot. Um, things like that. Just do the research. Do what's best for you. If you find that solution and it works for you, and you're able to get up in the morning and get up and go and do the day, do it. Mental health is no joke, and it's either been laughed at or looked down upon for many years now. And I'm gonna say something here. I would like for certain people that I know specifically to stop making fun of the word triggers. Um, Triggers are important. Triggers are really difficult, and I know that it seems real easy for us to make fun of things that we don't understand. But I am really, really tired of hearing things like we get so offended so easily nowadays. Oh, why can't people get a thicker skin? Why? Da, 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 da. Here's my problem with all of that. Just because you don't agree or because you don't understand something doesn't mean you're right. And I'm learning that slowly but surely as I get older. And that's why I have been dedicating so much of my life to improving my language. And I don't mean like curse words. I curse like a sailor. But there's certain words that I don't want to make someone else feel bad. Like stupid or lame, because that's ableist for someone with disabilities. Uh, Gypped makes fun of gypsies. Uh, Dumb, definitely not retarded. It's definitely a horrid, horrid word. These are things that I'm trying to scrub out of my language, and so I think that it's time for us to stop making fun of people for things they don't understand, and instead of saying, "I wish people would stop getting so offended," maybe you should be more tolerant. Because I'm really, really I'm tired of hearing that. There's no reason for you that you should ever tell somebody to not get so offended. If someone gets offended, that's on them. That's. But you getting on someone's case for something that they feel, not cool. So I think that that's something that we could really work on. Tolerance. So please, friends, family, blah blah blah, please stop making fun of triggers, because you have no idea what it feels like to hear a door slam and suddenly burst into tears. So, yeah. Alright, so again, don't know a whole lot about it personally, but there's definitely a possibility of a connection. The best thing I can suggest is, get help, see a therapist, da 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 da, do your stuff right, have a good diet, that helps a lot, exercise, these things do help. So, thank you for your time. You can also email me, check out the blog. I've been doing a lot of fixings to it. I'm always on, paying attention constantly. I'm also going to be setting up a donation. My aunt just bought a college. No joke, bought a college. She's had a nursing school in Paradise, California that's been very successful. She just bought a college, I think, if I remember correctly, in Sacramento. And she is definitely going to do some focus on dealing with people with craniofacial differences. And so I told her I'd look into seeing if anybody would like to donate to that. So I will let you know as we set something up. Uh, she's been working with the people with that for years. And I think that's amazing because the more awareness we raise, the less chance we have of having an uncomfortable doctor experience. So thank you for your time. Have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. Peace.